That was a gnat. They come into the void at the same time as the Scorpio offspring. They hide under sprigs, and if there are actual sprigs in the chamber, it's impossible to tell which one they'll be under. Scared the crap out of me the first time I saw them, and got a good jump out of me the second time too. I'll try not to let it distract me as I continue. So, out of all those votes for strength, only one person really focused on the military side of things. Herr Sweefel? My pronunciation is terrible. Lord Onion said that the experiences in the void have consisted of fear, torment and violence, and there is only one fitting aspect we can bequeath upon the world above, that of a cold and methodic warrior who will crush all opposition. That'd be really good right about now. And ensure that the dwellers above get to share in the pain their miserable trickle-down hints of colour have caused in the plane below them. There we go, who said we should make alliances when we ascend. Violence has done pretty well for us so far. As you can see, it doesn't take too much to take them down, thankfully. Right, on to the general reasons for voting for Ailey. I can pretty much say these as they come. Rent-A-Cop says she's simply the coolest. Sarah Diart says that she would bring some bitchin' theme music to the new world. Taladon likes both Ava and Ailey with no particular reason for each, so chose Ailey because he likes her hair.
Will protect you better.
Chance too. How can you not vote for Hitler David Bowie? No other sister has got so many peculiar reasons for the votes. I guess her sense of humour is infectious. She has a great character, one rarely found in video games. That's the basis for Tuxedo Ted's vote. If Fashim could choose a new personality, it would be hers. Surprised that the hard and strong type was so popular here. Dead Meat 5150's vote came down to Ailey's Zeppelin made of lead. And Cherry Doom absolutely loves military stuff. I'm not entirely sure in which context. I'm going to assume it's of the explodey shooty kind. Sweeney Todd and Sporkles both went by their gut reactions, the former after watching her third heart being opened, and the latter just weighing aesthetics and personality against Olay. Raskolnikov found the creeping dread that permeates the void to be quite claustrophobic, whereas Ailey's chamber is expansive with the promise of grand adventure, and the lady herself is cool too. Finally, Doomfunk wants a girl who gets up early, he wants a girl who stays up late, he wants a girl with uninterrupted prosperity, who uses a machete to cut through red tape. That says it all, and I'm convinced after going through all that Ailey would have been an excellent choice. Not only for what she's done during our time here, but what she could do in the future. Now, there is only one more sister left to consider. In fact, it's time to forget about all the other sisters. Just drop them out your mind, like the whining anchors they are. There is only one true sister. And if you think you're getting a Highlander reference out of me, you can just keep waiting. Here we go. Olay had 52 votes, 30% of the total. Vashim noted that it was interesting that the top two choices were pretty much direct opposites. A strong, confrontational woman, or a lost, wistful child. Many of the votes stemmed from the reasoning that she just seemed like the person you were supposed to pick all along. Her icon's been flashing up there, you were told right from the beginning that she was your sister. To be honest, I would assume that when a game offers you an alternative to a nice neat conclusion, most people would pick it up instantly. But why am I trying to make up words when I can just quote someone else? Alias says we were supposed to be here for her after all. Zanchito says that half the game is spent trying to get to her, so choosing her just seems natural. He also mentions her innocence, which I'll get to later. A significant reason why it just seems right to choose her is because we were in effect promised to her. Warped Lickin mentions that, as well as noting her concern for your well-being. The mime's vote is essentially that the game just wants you to pick her. Scoot Hammer says the same, whilst hinting at her strong connection to the upper limit and her ignorance. Paradox Machine seems to be voting based upon my feelings towards Olay. I didn't realise I was showing anything, and even then you already know that I have stronger connection to Uda. I do agree that her and Yanni seem to have reasons for the most intense emotions though. Ghostcar feels that he's already seen what the other sisters have to offer, whilst Olay is full of untapped potential. Even if it feels like the obvious choice, the temptation is just too great. Simple Simon would agree. It seems that the game wants you to go that way, and he has a feeling that it's the wrong choice. The interest is then in whether the game can turn it around and prove you wrong. Mick Stevenson feels that in a game where voids supposedly go on forever, there is no end or consistent rule. And Olay is the closest to that, a small island of sanity and logic. Don't get your hopes up. Some have based their choice on the existence of Godsend, really just wanting that side story to come to some conclusion. Sindai just wants to know what's up with Godsend. Vegetable Melange feels that the other needs of the sisters are too petty, and only Olay truly invokes the idea of furthering the story, with Godsend in particular. Dana Chrysalis also feels that Olay is the only one with some sense of completion about her, and that sending her to the surface will actually provide more mysteries, maybe because of Olay's inquisitive nature. Loquacious sees the importance of storyline and Godsend, and truly hates some of the other choices out there. While Dinks42 sees a location right near the surface overlooking this Godsend creature, and mainly by gut feeling just feels that she's the right choice. There are several votes that factor us into the equation. RBA Starblade says it was partly the Wanderer's fault that she's in the situation she's in. McFrugal mentions that she was promised to us. She's essentially our soulmate, so it's up to us to release her, letting her live a life, make mistakes, find some companionship.
You're listening to Gold. Of course, I haven't told you the whole truth. The soul asleep or lost is you, guest. You should have descended into the nightmare. That's where you were going when the one who left you ceased living. And that's why the brothers were confused. You are too much like them. Dead, cold, and heartless. The sleeper is the one who let you go. The one who's trying to reclaim you. But now you have a chance to kill this void and ascend to the surface.
It seems that the sleeper, the one that lost us, is going to die either way. In fact, we may have got out of it just in time. If we only ascended a part of it, would it be able to survive on its own? With the help of colour, would that be enough? Maybe it would be best if I just took control of this void and steered it back to where it was before. No, I can't. It's been a long process. You've helped so much. We're going to ascend Olay. That's it. Final. Elto Shan says that Olay was meant for us, and her words reflect this. There's a slight contradiction in saying that she knows what's happening and how important it is, but also that she's ignorant. However, I do agree that she would tread a very honest path. Schwartz Champ really sets off how we owe Olay so much. She was the last thing the Void created. We were promised to her and we let her down. There's only one thing we can do to make up for it. And that's why Green Intern says that it's only right that we return the possibilities that were ripped from her when she was taken from her promised brother. Red Magus says we could restore the link that clearly exists between her and the surface. Allow her to wear that dress that hangs up in her apartment. There are things she might do for us in return. Take our memories with her. There are several votes for Olay coming up that have consideration for other sisters. The chance of this is greater since Olay has more votes, but it really does seem that people felt that they just had to pick her, only able to give effect to their reasoning by comparing her with others.
I fell in love with you the moment I first saw you. At first I wasn't ready, but now I see that I can't go on without you. But what's done can't be undone. If people like you live there, I think maybe everything should be left as it is. And if I don't ascend, then Godsend will return too. She'll wake up and return to her limit. For her, this whole place is a nightmare. I guess that's how it is. I don't want to become the reason for your suffering, or hers. You're both dear to me.